Right now, we're 50% down from last year.
I'm doing the best that I can with the best that I have.
In that particular pivot, I discovered that I had to be creative.
Shernay, welcome to Pivotal Moments.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and talk to you. And a little bit about the Black Mompreneur, which is my company. It's all about empowering Black moms to start and grow businesses that fit into their lifestyles as moms, right? So we're equipping them with the business tools, the marketing skills, and all the resources and support that they need to create generational wealth in their families.
Wow, that is awesome. Awesome. And it's especially a need. So I love it. So let's get right on into today's conversation. So I'm sure you, like many people, when you had to think about a pivotal moment, probably maybe 20, if not 100, came to mind, right? But what would you like to talk about today as one of your pivotal moments?
Well, I really love this question and thinking about it. Like you said, I have lots to choose from. But today I would really focus on the birth of my first son. I was very, and still am, but I was very career driven at the time. I was a television reporter and had been working my way up to larger markets as they do. And I was actually living in Portland, Maine, when I discovered that I was pregnant. And so my family, my now husband, everyone was in Baltimore, Maryland, my hometown. And so I had a choice to make, right? I could either basically raise the child alone for 2 years because I had signed a 2-year contract, or I could move, leave the position and go back home. And so I decided it was best to leave the position and go back home. And what I didn't realize is that my job would not be too happy. They weren't happy about it. And so I had to, sign this agreement that said I wouldn't report for 2 years, which effectively ended my career as a TV reporter because I would have to start over. And so I was very disillusioned. I was hurt from that experience. And, I'd already had in my mind that, okay, as a mom, you have to choose career or being a mom. So I already had that in the back of my head, and then it actually happened. And I felt like I didn't have that control in that say. So it was a very rough time for me. And then I had to figure out what to do next. So I said, okay, well, I have PR experience. Let me try to pursue, a full time in PR or communications. And so I really struggled to find a good fit. And then I came across this position. I was actually going to be filling in for someone going on medical leave. But it was at a PR agency, and it was a small PR agency, but the owner was a mom. And I was like, wow, okay. So she literally built this business from the ground up and was having, these huge contracts that she was able to sustain not only herself, but to hire staff and, have an office. And I was really so inspired by that. And it's funny that it took that experience for me to see that it was possible, because I've come from a family of entrepreneurs. But at that time, it really opened my eyes. And so I said, well, I can do this. I have the experience, and I went back to school and had lots of other experiences after that. But I started my first business, which was the StorySuite, and it was a content marketing agency. And, fast forward several years later, now I'm helping moms who felt like I felt that it's not possible to be able to pursue your dreams while also raising your wonderful children. And so it's so interesting thinking about it that, what I thought was career ending for me, I thought I had to choose, when I had my beautiful son, I thought that was career ending for me. But now it actually helped me see what I feel is my true purpose to empower moms to follow their dreams. So I would say that's the pivotal moment I want to talk about.
Wow. I mean, there were so many things coming to my mind as you were talking, because I mean, it's just so amazing. And first of all, to have to make that type of decision. And then, like you said, to feel basically like you had to potentially end your career, because you were choosing to be a mom and show up for your child. I can't even imagine what that did to you. And the fact that you didn't let it keep you down says a lot. So wow, that's very inspirational. And you kind of touched on it, but I'm interested to see, the answer to to the next question, because when we talk about pivotal moments, we always then talk about that unchanging thing, that pivot, the thing that you're pivoting on, and the thing that everything kind of adjusts around that. And usually we kind of figure that out after, or either while we're in the pivot or after we've made that pivot. But it's valuable to find out, because it means that's that core thing to us that is of importance that we can't change. So for you, what did you find was that important thing that's unchangeable and that you will always make the adjustments around that?
And that's my children, right? Now I have 2 children, and being a mother is a constant, right? That is a constant. It's a beautiful and an amazing thing. But I also don't have to forget about me, right? And my dreams and my passions. Those things can exist simultaneously. And that's what I really am all about now, and helping other moms see that is possible. And often we live in silos. We're thinking that, we know that a lot of other moms go through that. But we still, I feel like, tend to internalize it and not talk about it, only focus on the beautiful aspects of it. And so that's why it's so important to just try to build that community and seek out help when you need it, focus on self-care, and do all the things that you need to be good, so that you're not filling from an empty cup, right?
Yeah, wow. So now shifting gears a bit, we also talk about adjustment. So when we think about, pivoting in actual sports terms, right? And think of basketball. And we recognize that in order to win the game, there's several different moves that have to take place: pivoting, dribbling, shooting, all those different things. But they are all necessary to actually win. So when we talk about making adjustments, many times we may think of that as pivoting, and it can be involved, but adjustment really takes on the tone of having to adapt to something that usually we may not be that comfortable with. So can you talk about a time when you had to adjust rather than pivot?
Well, listen, COVID, and I'm sure other guests have
Yeah.
referenced that. But of course, that's the first thing that comes to mind, because we can't change it. It's here. We didn't necessarily make that choice. We didn't see it coming. But it's something that we have to just adjust and deal with, right? Yeah. For however long. Yeah. And so I'm sure we can all relate to the struggles of that, whether you have children or not. But of course, for me, it's balancing all the things that have to be done, while also, making sure that my children are good, my spouse, everybody is good. Right. So it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yes. And you managed to still say all of that with a smile. So
oh yes, we have to. You gotta smile or cry, right?
Exactly.
Smile though.
Okay, so before we completely sign off, though, tell us more about your directory so that people can know where to go to get this help.
Absolutely. So for people who are moms or not moms, but you want to support Black moms, entrepreneurs, you can go to blackmombiz.com, because we recently launched a directory of Black moms around the country who are offering various services and products, anywhere from books to children's clothing, to adult clothing, to real estate professionals, health coaches. We have so many amazing moms on there who are doing some great work, and they want to get support. So we created this directory that you can search by state or category. And then you can also, if you're a Black mom, you can go to our Facebook group, which is Black Moms with Thriving Businesses. And that's where we're creating this safe space to talk about all the things that we talked about today, as well as give them that support and encouragement and resources and networking opportunities to continue to grow their businesses.
Wow. I always love these conversations. And, sometimes I'm like, why did I decide to keep these as little short, brief conversations? Because they're so good. But as we come to the end of the conversation, I always have my guests just leave that thing directly from them to the viewers, to those watching, to those moms out there. What do you want to say directly to them?
I would say that no matter what you're going through, you may not see the other side, right? You may not understand why it's happening at that particular time. You may just question just why. And, it's just a testimony to the fact that it may take a couple years to even see why you had to go through something. But your experience is powerful, and you can use that to help other people. So that's the main thing I want to share.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining the conversation today. I love just hearing what you have to say and have to share. And, honestly, even those who are not moms, the information that you provided is good for all of us. And like you said, Absolutely. We're all just in some really interesting times, and hearing your journey can inspire all of us. So thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, you all have been watching another episode of Pivotal Moments with Lolita. No doubt you were inspired and encouraged by today's guest. And thank you for always supporting me in Pivotal Moments. And we'll see you next time on Pivotal Moments with Lolita.